Hello and welcome to The Villain Was Right, the podcast where we look at movies and TV shows from the villain's perspective and dare to ask, were they really all that bad? I'm your host, Rebecca Reeves.
And I'm your host, Craig Fay.
And this week we are talking about, this is audience choice.
And it was a close one.
Tight! It was tight! Okay, but
So
we
we
loaded up a lot of good movies, though, to
We
be
made
fair.
you pick between Encanto, Turning Red, and
Finding Nemo.
And
And Encanto came out on top.
Yeah.
Buddy, this movie slaps.
You'd seen it before,
Yes, of course.
right?
Of course, I'd seen it. I already knew I was going to very much enjoy my rewatch of it. I was like,
Same.
I was thrilled. Sometimes I dread, and sometimes I'm thrilled. And this week I was thrilled. I love Encanto. It is so good.
I was watching it on the airplane on my way to Calgary, and I was legitimately tearing up.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, not on the flight, not with everyone around me.
If I'm not crying on a plane, I'm not even really flying. I gotta be honest with you. I think I've cried every time I've ever been on a plane.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Is it like the movies you're watching, or is okay?
I always specifically, there's something about transportation that makes me like, I've cried on buses, I've cried on trains, planes, doesn't matter. Planes, trains, and automobiles. Come on, let's go.
So just
Okay.
you on a plane, it's the tomato juice and a sad movie.
Oh,
and
man. Oh, I'm looking for it. I want to pull that release. I'm going to make my
that
neighbors...
little neck pillow.
I'm sitting beside strangers, making them uncomfortable. I'm like, prepare yourselves, okay? There's going to be a crying woman for half this flight. And I just do it so silently, too. It's just water streaming from my face. I'm so quiet. Like, you do have to be paying attention to notice. But I'm having full breakdown.
Part of me is thinking like, oh yeah, she's doing it for her ears, so her ears justify it, but you're doing it on buses and everything.
No. I think that's where it happens. What am I going to cry at home? Home's my happy place.
I'll never be here ever again. Because we're
Exactly. I'm
traveling.
never going to see your ass again. I'm going to cry on this flight.
Just so you know, everybody else who sits around you is seeing you cry,
Yes.
and they're going, is this something I have to do?
No, understand that this is my time. This is my personal time.
I will give Encanto A+ movie for crying on a plane.
Oh yeah, no, it's good. It's good. I didn't find myself too emotional on this watch, but it still slaps. So the music is so good.
Yeah, that Lin-Manuel Miranda's going places.
Yeah. He's doing some stuff.
He's doing all right.
Okay, so if you haven't seen Encanto, first of all, watch it. What are we doing? Okay, it is just a front to back masterpiece. It is also gorgeous. The colors, the artistry of it, so beautiful. The dialogue's great. The characters are great. The story's great. Everything's great. I got no notes for this movie, even though I'm about to defend some things. I have no notes. Okay, if you've never seen this movie, essentially we have the head of the family is I'm just the grandmother. Okay,
yeah.
So the grandmother's the head of the family. When she first gave birth to her 3 children, her and her husband were trying to escape from invaders. He ends up dying, and through the sacrifice of his love, basically instills like magic into a candle to protect the family. So in the protection of the family, there's a house that's alive, basically. A house that's alive. Very cool, okay? And each of the family members kind of gets like a superpower, okay? A little magical power. When they turn of age, they get a door, and our main character, Mirabelle, she did not get she didn't get a power, okay? So she kind of believes that, you know, she's to blame for the bad things in the family. And it seems that there are more cracks in this family that she and the rest of the family maybe never noticed. Family members feel pressure to be perfect, to fall in line with the rest of the family, and it's starting to kind of break up the house, essentially.
Yeah, she's finding cracks in the house when no one's around.
And at first she's kind of not believed, but more so in a way that like they just didn't want it to be real. I think like I don't even it didn't pass for very long of her being like, no, you're lying about it. It's like, no, nobody just wants to believe this because it's stressing them out, which is fair. I think that's a fair reaction. She goes on a search for Bruno, who had a vision of what was going to happen, and has kind of been outcasted from the family because people didn't like his visions, even though he was not causing it. It was just he knew some bad things were going to happen, and they didn't care for that. So he ends up living in the walls, which is so sad. Anyway, living in the walls with the rats as friends, and sitting down behind the wall to eat dinner with them, which is honestly that's
one of the more heartbreaking.
Oh, the fucking plate on the table that's been drawn on. I can't. Anyway, so our main character, in trying to figure out what is breaking up their house and destroying their lives, immediately blames herself for not being able to save the house. And then her grandmother realizes that she is the one that's been breaking things up and breaking things down.
And that prophecy that Bruno had was like that she's going to cause this. Yeah.
Yes. And so at the end, the grandmother realizes, I'm losing my sense of family. That's what I've been losing in order to, have this protection that I need in my head. I've been breaking out this family apart, making people feel bad, and we should all come together again. And then the house comes back, and everybody's great.
Choked up just thinking. I legitimately have chills. I legitimately have chills of that scene of like the community coming in, like we're gonna rebuild the house and everything.
No, so good.
So good. Very good movie.
Yes.
So I guess the question. I'm really curious to hear who you think the villain is, because I've got a couple ideas in my head.
I think the villain of this movie is basically defecting from your family, like abandoning your family.
Oh.
I think that's the villain of this movie.
Yes.
Okay.
So you're saying that you view this as like you can't leave your family, you can't strike out on your own, you have to like always be there and support your family.
Yes.
And that's what
will make a strong family.
Okay. So interesting.
What do you got?
Well, I think
I want a little more abstract.
No, that's great. I went Bruno,
Sure.
right? The outcast.
Okay, yeah.
I think he's at the end of the movie proven very right.
Yes, of course.
But also Abuela.
Oh, yes. No, she's definitely...
She is kind of the one that, the bad things happen because of her.
Yes.
And again, I think the end part is perfect and wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to have a really hard time talking shit about Abuela, but I will.
Oh, yeah, we're going to do it. We're going to dig in, but know that we kind of don't mean it.
But before we get into that, there is the powers that the family has. Mm-hmm. And the whole opening song is like, we are going to explain every single character name and every single superpower.
It's great.
And it is going to be a little overwhelming. Mm-hmm. But here's the song that explains it. What superpower would you have, and what do you think is the worst one that we see?
I think... Okay, so I think the worst one is the flowers. I'm like, who cares?
Right. You're a gardener? Okay.
Yeah. I'm like, whatever. I guess she uses it for movement and stuff, which is cool. So it's not like the worst one, but I'm like, oh no, being that strong girl would be awesome. Also, because I think she has the best song. But Louisa, yes. I think she's got I know. The Bruno song is obviously everyone's favorite, but I'm like, nah.
Oh no, it's
Louisa's
pressure.
song slaps so hard.
Oh, we were gonna get into that eventually. Might as well now. Let me just say,
it's the best
most adults I've talked to have been like, yeah, it's just really.
It's like that song like crawls into my soul. Yeah, I'm like, holy shit.
I'm sitting there watching like emails fill up my inbox and like, my lawn getting all overgrown and like having to replace fucking blinkers in my car, and I'm like, tick, tick, Tickets gonna pop.
No, so good.
So good. I have that. I have 2 different versions of that song on my playlist right now, and have since this movie came out.
It slaps.
It's so good.
But I would say
okay.
But I would say like what I think, because I think it's all also kind of based off of personality, right?
It is.
Like it pairs with the person.
The kid who likes animals gets to communicate to animals.
Yes.
Absolutely.
So I think mine would be food, but instead of healing you, it makes you laugh.
Oh yeah. Sort of like real soul food. Yeah.
Yeah. Like
nourishes
you eat it
the soul.
and you're like, it's like a little Xanax.
Yeah. Weed brownies. Yeah. Rebecca can cook weed brownies.
Oh my god!
Something about these brownies just make colors pop more. Everything's more entertaining and funny.
I literally have done that.
Yeah.
Okay, so
I think as well. If I had to pick one, I think it would be the mom's power to cook food that heals you. That is,
yes.
I'm sorry, so fucking useful.
Of course,
compared to some of these other fucking parlor chicks. You know what I think the worst one is?
Yeah,
it's the nephew, I think, or cousin of Maribel who can imitate other people.
Yeah.
In the whole movie, he does nothing but goes around and changes her appearance to look like the person that he's talking to. Mm-hmm. Rebecca, if someone did that to me, I'd be fucking furious.
I think that's why it's effective for a teen boy.
I guess.
I think that's why that's perfect.
If I had to come talk to you and I'd be like, Rebecca, can we have a serious conversation? And all of a sudden you like pop, and then you were me and I was talking to myself. There's no one I want to talk to less than myself. That would be so weird.
How good of a therapist would you be though? Say it to yourself. Say it.
Meanwhile, they're seeing every imperfection in their face that they've never seen before. You're like, this is how you see me?
Sit down and have a conversation with your damn self.
No.
That's therapy you could charge for, $500 an hour.
Oh my God, no. Anyway,
you'd really work through some stuff. Talk to your mother.
I think if that, I think if that guy was not in the family, everyone would, they live in an agrarian community. Yeah, you can grow flowers, you can grow crops. Crops are plants, right? That's being able to lift shit. That's important. Being able to heal people. Yeah. Being able to talk to animals. They live in the middle of the Colombian rainforest. Yeah, of course. Yeah. Mirabelle is less useless than the guy who can impersonate people.
That's so funny.
Controlling the weather, super. Although, depending on your emotions.
Oh, bro, I can't have that kind of shit on my head, man. That wouldn't be good. Okay. Although to say, I think I'm already kind of like that because my face can't lie.
Yeah.
Like you can see, like there's a rain cloud over my head if there's a rain cloud over my fucking head, dude.
I was gonna say, based on vibes, I would have cast you as that.
Oh yeah. But if you could pick anything, like doesn't have to be included in this movie, what do you think would pair to your personality?
I would like to think that I could, like, the ability to, like, impart knowledge, I would like.
Oh, damn, okay.
Like, I don't know, maybe, you make I'm able to make some pen and then you can write really well, or I'm able to make like a musical instrument and you can play it really, like maybe creating items that are infused with skill.
Oh, damn.
Or skill or knowledge, I think that'd be fun.
Yeah, okay, I like it.
Does that fit my personality at all?
Yes.
Or like,
I was definitely picturing building for something. I was like, oh, you'd like make things.
I hope so.
Yeah, you would make things. But I was picturing maybe more like architectural things. But,
like magic houses.
Exactly.
Wi-Fi routers that work.
Yes, your dream where you complete control. Nothing's fucked up. Okay.
Yeah. And speaking of the powers, I think this is a good good time to point out that a lot of these feel like they are metaphors for mental illness.
Oh, damn. Okay, here we go.
Oh, you didn't catch that?
Oh, I was really trying to not go too deep. I was just like, there's no need to mess around with this movie.
Well, I was just thinking like Pepe, her mood affects the weather.
Okay,
right?
sure.
So like that to me is very anxiety, inspired, where it's like you can't control necessarily how your emotions that well, and they get out of hand very quickly, and like you show them very easily.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, Bruno is kind of like basically schizophrenia.
Oh, damn.
Where it's like I see things and I have visions of bad things that are going to be happening in my family. That's kind of depression, and people being like, we're kind of tired of you being a bummer and around all the time, so get out of here.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, he's so sad.
He's so sad.
The plate, dude. I was floored at the plate. I don't.
Where he's like, he's trying to be like, I'm fine. I live my life. And it's like, no,
I'm okay.
I have rats as friends. Honestly, his rat TV was hilarious. I loved it.
Oh, God.
But yeah, I think that's my biggest argument against Abuela, where it's just like, you've chased your family away. You've made your son
defend her for it.
Oh, right.
And defend her for it.
Right. I forgot we were defending.
We have a point to make. Okay.
Sometimes I forget whether we think it's the villain. Or the movie thinks it's the villain. The lines have gotten so blurred over the last 6 years or whatever.
Oh, God.
Okay. All right. I'm going to turn it then.
Yeah,
I need to defend her. She should have gotten rid of him.
Yeah.
Right? One, first of all, why the fuck do you have 3 grown-ass children still staying in the house with you? Move out on your own, miracle of miracles, whatever.
Yeah.
You all have your own miracles. Go make your own magic houses and your own dynasties, right? Like at a certain point.
Move out of my house.
Right?
Yes.
Clearly, this house is stressed, providing everything for you.
Yeah. Move out of my house.
Move out of my house.
Yeah.
I have built this entire community for you. Just move down the street.
Also, you're telling me they couldn't give her a different room? Where she's like, oh yeah, I just stay in this shitty room. I'm like, this house is magical. Give me a better room.
Doesn't have to be the magical room.
Yes, just some with a little zhuzh to it, okay?
I'm stuck staying in the nursery with my child cousin.
Yeah. All because I didn't get a power and I should be punished for that fact? Come on, leave your family.
Yeah.
Leave your family.
Leave your family. Yeah.
Not all families deserve your love, is my point.
Ooh, let's hear it.
Okay, not all families deserve your love. I think sometimes, and I don't necessarily believe it is the message of this movie, but but I think sometimes there is this narrative of like, oh, like, blood is thicker than water. Like you gotta deal with your family no matter what. I'm like, no, some people have garbage families, okay? They have terrible, terrible families or, family members, and you just don't need to deal with that person, okay? There's no need, okay? If somebody has stuck you in the closet, rejected you your whole life.
Yeah, blamed you for everything.
You're allowed to leave.
It's like, Maribel, I know that you are trying to help.
Yeah.
What you need to do right now is just stop.
Advocate for yourself.
Is such a harsh thing to hear from your grandmother. You can't hurt. You can't help. You can only hurt at this point.
Yeah.
That's terrible. I will say it is interesting that you used the phrase "blood is thicker than water." Because it is, that's one of those sayings that people only say the first half of.
Yes, Greg, tell me the second half.
Absolutely changes the the context.
Like the customer's always right. I love this.
In matters of taste.
Yes.
And I think it is the... so the actual saying is the blood of the covenant is thicker than the water of the womb. So basically it means like us shaking hands, like we're buddies, you and I, means more than just like you were born into this family. So it's like the opposite of what everyone uses it for.
Yes, chosen family.
Big assist for our producer Andrew, who had to come in there and save me with that. But yeah, that's it's one of those things, right? Where it's like, sometimes you need to move on.
No, there are sections of my family. I'm like, I'm see you at the next funeral. Like, bye. I don't care. Okay, there's no need for this.
Yeah.
I just think the attitude of like, no matter what, at any cost, should probably not apply to this or most things.
Yeah, you're right.
And I think it is the message of this movie of like, oh, we have to stay together. And I'm like, nah, no, this movie could have also been like, you left them.
Yeah.
Went on your own journey,
So-
realized your own value.
There is a version of this movie where Mirabelle goes to Bogota to go to university and
Nice.
and is living a life. You know what I mean?
Love that.
Living a life.
Would love that. Yes. Because clearly, like, if you and you know what bothers me when there's like a family secret that everybody's like, but don't talk about. Nobody talks about it. Don't talk about it. Nobody talk about it. And I'm like, okay, then somebody did some wrong things here, and it's probably the person that's not. It's definitely not the person that's not here. You know what I mean? Like, I'm like, the person we cast out. Like, if we're being so protective, we're probably being protective of somebody that's still around. Okay, why are we being so
Yeah,
secretive?
we don't talk about Bruno.
Yeah,
Because
we probably should.
we probably
probably
should.
should.
Probably should. Maybe that's the thing. And that's definitely something like I've experienced with my family, where it's like, oh, it's not that it's secrets or like we don't talk about that, but it's like, well, there's probably some things that we should have been told at some point, like that the woman that we all thought was our grandmother is not our biological grandmother. Like, it's
for
like
sure.
you're like, oh,
Maybe
she's
say-
grandpa's third wife. Oh, okay.
But we don't want to talk about it. It was before all the unpleasantness.
Right, yeah. The unpleasantness.
Well, of course, after the unpleasantness. Yeah. So I think leave. That's my leave. Fuck these bitches. Okay, everybody feels bad in the family. Take off for a bit.
Because
Let
of
them
responsibility.
solve their own problems. Why is it always the youngest members of the family fronting for the most generational trauma and trying to fix it? Okay, Jesus Christ.
Because it all goes on them. It all goes on them. And you know who actually I think has it the worst of the entire Louisa.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I mean, her song is
her song is the best.
She indicates.
But they are by far, one, I can get behind the message of like, listen, we were given this wonderful, wonderful gift, and it is incumbent on us to share that with others and have that gift be in service to others, right?
Yeah.
I think that's wonderful. But Louisa, as a perfect example of this, she's super strong. Great. That's very handy. Very handy. They have her moving fucking churches. Why do you need the church moved, man? Like,
well, because we need the sun to rise behind it so that it looks great in the windows.
Great. You know at what step you do that? When you're laying out the church, when you're laying out the town. Is she moving the church to line up with like the solstices and things? Like, so like the sun moves. The sun is going to move. It's not always going to be in sunlight. Guess what? That's how buildings work.
Yeah.
Right? You
can't move rivers also. That's bad. That's bad for the...
I mean, that's damming rivers, but yeah.
You can't. It's bad.
You can't.
Okay.
The donkeys got out again. Let me tell you, the donkeys don't need to be lifted back into their pens.
No, it sounds like a you problem.
Yeah, sounds like maybe you should shepherd your donkeys. Maybe if you're a professional donkey keeper. What is it? Farmer, I guess? Is there a name for someone who... like a shepherd is sheep. Donkey herder?
Buddy, I have no...
Ass farmer?
Ass farmer? All right, now you're just giving away my Reddit name. Okay, Jesus Christ.
But like you can herd them back into the pen. You don't need to go and collect them like they're, like barrels.
Yeah.
They're mobile animals on their own. The things that this community is relying on her for is extreme, and it's stressed me out so much. Because the movie obviously takes the very simplistic view of like, well, maybe if I just took a minute to relax and sit in a hammock and drink a fruity drink from a coconut, then all my troubles would be gone. Let me tell you, that girl needs so much more than a vacation.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
No, you got burnout on burnout.
Oh, my God.
Buddy, every time I go to my therapist, I'm like, so I had this reaction. And she's like, yeah, that's burnout. Every time you say something, it's burnout. Like, welcome to it. And I'm like, all right, okay. Yay! Fuck.
Now that you mentioned it, that was the look I was giving you at the beginning of the podcast. We're about to record, and I'm just like sitting staring, like just right past Rebecca's like left ear.
1,000-yard stare.
And she's like, "You okay, buddy?" I was like, "Yeah, just been a busy day."
Yeah.
we'll rally.
You know what? I'll tell you what. You know what I think this community will have a problem with later is they're not going to have any doctors. Nobody's going to study to be a doctor if food cures it. And then when that lady's gone, you're all fucked. Okay, you're fucked up. Nobody knows what to do now.
Yeah.
This is problematic. I don't think you can just replicate that.
Her food cures everything except for high cholesterol. It actually contributes to that.
Yeah.
Like, real doctor comes in, it's like, so what have you guys been doing for like medical treatments?
We've just been eating donuts.
Oh no.
Oh no. This is horrible.
You can lift a church and
Community's falling apart.
and you've got a 90% blockage in 4 arteries, Louisa. Oh my God. You can't strength your way out of this.
Oh, you lift one more donkey, you're done.
To get some cardio in there, Louisa.
Yeah. Oh man, cartoon food always looks so good though.
Yeah.
Fuck. This movie made me hungry.
Yeah. You know, speaking, it looked great. Yeah, looked really good. I want to eat it. Although I do also want to say, speaking of the looks of this movie, one thing I found, and this is like in a couple of these animated movies in recent years, where I am so struck by Maribel in particular, where I was like, I know somebody like you. Like I know this type of person.
Yes. I've met you.
I met like the glasses and I don't know if it's like the way the hair bounces, they've done better.
Yeah.
But like multiple movies it struck me was like, I know you. Like you seem like I don't know if there's just because they're more realistic, like the food, or because they're becoming more ethnically diverse, so it's actually people that I know, you know? Like, it's like, I don't know any fucking white princesses.
I just think if you have that hair, you have that outfit. I just think, you know what I mean? Like, I think you own that outfit. I think you have it.
You're right. That is what it is.
You have a whimsical skirt in your, you know what I mean, in your closet.
And you got wild curls.
And
you're
cool
right.
ass glasses. Okay, and you're an art major, and you're cool as fuck.
That's what it is.
Yes.
That's what it is. That's 100% it. Thank you so much.
No, you're welcome.
You're right. They've started
Absolutely.
animating art majors.
Yes.
Thank you for getting to the bottom of this.
No, I'm telling you, dude, it's the outfit. I've seen that. I've seen it around town.
Yeah,
you know?
I've seen her reading a book on the subway.
Exactly. You take your coffee black. Okay. You sit in a cafe, you take your coffee black, you're reading something, really cool.
Yeah.
Okay. And low-key want to come over and talk to you.
Yeah,
for
yeah.
sure.
And she's probably talking to her friend about how she had to leave Colombia because like the family situation was so bad there. It was like there was this uncle that we didn't talk about, and and you're like, oh, intriguing.
Intriguing. Tell me more.
I'll eavesdrop on this.
Yeah.
And you're like, anyway, I was supposed to get this thing on my birthday, and like my grandma decided not to give it to me, and it was like a big thing.
It was a
and,
big
like,
deal.
I didn't care, but like, because I was just taking care of the little cousins, but then like the little cousin got his thing, and I was like, stop ruining his thing, Arabella, and I'll be like,
that kid's so fucking cute.
He is cute.
He is adorable. I could have watched a whole movie of just him. I'm like, spin off.
The kid who gets his powers.
The animal powers.
The animals, yeah.
That kid is so fucking cute, dude. I can't. Give me a whole movie of him. I could absolutely.
I could do a spinoff of him.
Yes.
Little
oh my
animal
God.
adventures.
Yes. Okay. So Bruno is also like not like a villain, hard villain, but kind of, you know what I mean? Spun as one for most of the movie. And it's just because he's realistic. That's his crime. It's crime. It's crime is being realistic. Going, hey, goldfish die. This is gonna blow your mind. Okay, but they die, and yours is dying tomorrow because he's on his side right now, spinning around in circles. Okay.
Yeah.
That wasn't even a vision. He just probably looked at it. He's like, yo, that fish is gonna die. Like, what are you gonna do? Okay, I think he got done dirty. I think he just has realistic expectations for life. And the rest of that family viewed that as negative, and they were like, go live in the fucking walls, and he did.
Yeah, yeah. And you run down the list of crimes in the We Don't Talk About Bruno song, which, we don't talk about it, but we absolutely synchronize and harmonize like crazy about it. Oh, so
good.
It's very good. Yeah.
I wish all of my family traumas were sung at me.
That would talk about...
You know what I mean? Like, that'd be so great. Your aunt owes your uncle so much money.
Rebecca once had booze delivered to the house and was intercepted by her dad. We don't talk about it.
No, I would love that. That would actually put a lot of pep in my staff. It's cancer. You know what I mean? I just think that would make things more palatable for me personally.
The reason we don't talk about your uncle is for criminal reasons.
Yeah, don't
borrow money from your uncle. He won't pay it back.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. 100%.
No, all my uncles are the reason why I can't. It could never get my DNA tested. Somebody's getting arrested. Do you understand? Like, somebody is straight up getting arrested. Okay, we gotta keep it chill. Okay, for the fam jam. All right.
Sorry. just so we're perfectly clear, you can never get your DNA tested.
Yes.
Because you're saying it will lead to some sort of Golden State Killer situation.
I'm assuming.
Where
I'm assuming, quite frankly.
Where they're like, oh, this was related. This person is related to is a Reed.
Yeah. Like, oh, we found that you're connected to a bunch of car fires in the 80s. So we got to look into that now.
Bunch of car fires in the 80s is such a specific and wonderfully timed crime. We were like, back in the 80s, you could get away with car fires. There's nothing they couldn't do to catch
were happening.
Nothing they could do to catch it. It was the perfect crime. And then DNA caught up, and it was a bit of a don't 23 me, Rebecca.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were mean to Bruno. I think painting him as a realist is so funny.
I think it's just real. Yeah, he was just being real. He was like, hey, these things are going to happen.
Yeah, because once again, you go down that list of the crimes that he has, and there's one that's kind of like, oh, you ruined my wedding. You sort of so his sister, whose emotions create weather.
Yeah.
He went to her and was like, oh, it's going to rain at your wedding.
Yeah.
And then she freaked out about it. And because she was freaking out about it, it rained at her wedding. Like a typhoon, they were saying. That kind of is like, that's on par with you said something mean to me at my wedding and it kind of ruined my wedding.
I don't even think that's mean. I think that's looking at somebody being like, hey, just so you're prepared for this, I've noticed a pattern in behavior with you. You're potentially going to have a full crash out at your wedding.
Yeah.
I can feel this escalating.
Sure.
My knees hurt because the pressure keeps dropping. Okay, you need to relax.
I love that that's Bruno's power of premonition. It's just like, oh, my ankles are aching. Bad weather's coming.
I think he's just good at observing. Like, he's just like, yo, like, you seem really amped up. A wedding is a high pressure situation. Yeah. I kind of foresee this not going great. We might want to get a few extra tents up in here. We might want to like get a barrier, some bags of sand, maybe. I don't know.
Yep.
Okay, like this is just a man trying to get ahead of a problem that will 100% happen
for his sister.
I don't think this is like a chicken or egg situation.
No.
I think that was happening regardless of him saying something or not.
And I agree.
Yes.
But I think in the worst case scenario, from the sister's perspective, you could maybe justify it as he said something to me at my wedding that ruined my wedding. Okay. Kind of a shitty thing for a brother to do, right? But that's the highest level that his crimes rise to. The rest of the stuff, like you said, is like, well, he said that my goldfish was going to die, and then it did, or he kind of predicted that Mirabelle will be like a problem, like
will be at the center of
something wrong with the family,
Yeah.
right? And it's just all these things where it's like, you have this ability to predict the future, and you would think that would be the most useful thing in the world, but because
No, I'm hearing it even more now. He does also represent some sort of anxiety.
Yes.
Because, like, that is also what you do in that situation. If you're in a high-pressure situation at home at all times, you start getting really good at knowing when somebody's going to pop off because your brain has trained it to do that. Like, you're like, oh, no, like, I can tell by this micro expression that something's about to happen because your brain's only job is to keep you safe. And it's like, yeah. He's just looking at it like, yeah, you're going to pop off. That's not going to go good. Okay, like, you're going to be sad tomorrow, so just prepare yourself. Say your goodbyes.
Yeah.
Say your goodbyes to your goldfish, okay? What's wrong with it?
you have not been taking care of it.
You've not been taking
And also, Mirabelle, I know what you're going through because I too am the outcast of my family in this generation. Possibly the youngest, I don't know. But I mean, they're triplets, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, I bet a lot of this family shit and drama is gonna fall on the scapegoat of the family, which they did the last generation.
Yes.
They did for my generation, right?
Which is why I don't think any of this would have happened if he had stuck around. If they had let him stick around, here's the thing, is that an oddball always needs another oddball. Okay, you need another person to look at and go, hey, these people are a little fucked up, right? And then you go, yeah, and then we go, yay! and then they were done. You know what I mean? Like, you need somebody else in your family to look at when something's going down to go, hey, that's fucked up, right? And then they say yes, and then you feel validated, and then we can deal with it together.
And you take your dessert into the wall. And you commiserate about it together.
Yeah.
And you let the screaming happen in the kitchen.
Absolutely. Oh my God. Thanksgiving's a nightmare. Okay. But we're going to get ourselves a little glass of wine and we're going to go out to the patio and just shoot the shit a little bit.
You are absolutely right. I am hanging out with Bruno and Maribel on the patio at every family thing. Are you kidding me? Yes.
You'd be like, can you fucking believe what our aunt just said about immigrants? Okay, like we need to talk about this.
We're literally
right now.
all refugees.
Yeah. We really need to talk about this. Okay, this is crazy. Okay, she started talking about building a wall. Like we gotta. I don't know, man. I can only take so much of that at a meal. Okay.
Yeah. You know what? The other thing is like, yes, Mirabelle is the art student and the woman who has that class. She's also the cool family member you'd hang out with if you were like the in-law. You know what I mean?
If you're marrying into this family, you're
Mirabelle
hanging out.
is my girl.
Yeah. Oh, yes. Absolutely. These fucking freaks.
I know this is a kid's movie and she's like, what? A teenager?
Yeah, she seems like a teen. Yeah.
Give her 5-6 more years, mid-20s, and I want to get wine drunk with Mirabelle at family
no,
reunions.
She's the cool one.
Oh,
she is the cool one.
She is. Her special power is bringing her family together. No, I think your special power is going to be to get drunk and talk shit about your perfect sister.
About your perfect sister. Yeah, totally. I love that her struggle was just like, everybody thinks I'm so perfect and I want to be an alt punk princess.
Yeah, I want green hair.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you could have done that the whole time. I don't think there would have been a big pushback. What's crazy to me
one of your cousins can literally transform himself into other people. I think you can dye your hair.
Yeah, I think you're allowed to dye your hair. Or there might be like pushback for a week on it. I don't know.
Yeah.
But one part of this movie I find so crazy, at least to me, is that this man was going to fully propose. And then he's like, okay, switcheroo to the cousin last minute. And I'm like, that wouldn't be for me. I'll tell you that.
I mean, it does fall into the themes of the movie where it's like those two didn't really love each other. They were getting pushed together because it was expected of the families and it would be good for the community and like the parents wanted it. and the cousin who can hear everything, which I think would be one of the worst superpowers ever.
What a living hell that would be. Okay, I'll give you an example of like times where I have specifically, and I know some people are the exact opposite of this, but like if I hear my name and I'm not supposed to, like I'm not a part of this conversation, I don't listen more. I bounce out. I don't. That is none of my fucking business. Okay.
Good for you.
Oh, it's none of my business. Okay. I'm not a part of this conversation. Even if you're talking about me, because here's the thing. Okay. I know I've even said things that I don't mean about people. Okay. Sometimes I'm on one. You know what I mean? I'm in a mood. Something's going down. I've literally gone back to people and been like, "Hey, remember that conversation we had yesterday? I needed to eat." And I'm sorry that I was so negative within that conversation because I just needed to blow off some steam. I didn't even really mean most of that shit.
It turns out how I felt about that person and that thing that they did is actually how I felt about cheese fries.
Yes, okay, and I'm sorry for that.
Particularly the lack of them in my life.
So if somebody needs to vent about me, somebody needs to say something about me, even if it's a nice thing or whatever, I don't need to hear it unless you're saying it to my face. Okay, and that's the only time I want to hear it. Honestly, if it's directed at me, I will. Like when I'm leaving shows, I can't get out fast enough. Okay, I don't want to hear chit chat behind me on the way to the subway.
Oh, Rebecca was. I didn't like her.
She was a little raunchy, a little too much. Or most likely, not even Rebecca. So that lady,
the lady on the show.
Lady. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't need
I've seen her before. I think she did better last time.
Oh my God. Craig, why are we doing this?
Oh, yeah.
My nightmare. So yeah, that is the worst one.
And you know that town is popping with gossip.
Oh, and especially surrounding them.
You have the family in your town? Oh.
No. Yeah, you have a main family? Yeah. Like a main character family in this town?
Oh, everything's about you.
Yeah,
and your family. You can hear everybody making babies. You can hear fucking one of the worst. Anyway,
which also she's like, yeah, I knew he was in the walls, and I'm like, and you didn't do anything?
I guess you learn to keep your mouth shut when you can hear everything.
Oh, yeah, but somebody's got to intervene at some point. This man's speaking. You can hear him talking to the rats.
Yeah.
Okay, do something.
Yeah.
Have some compassion.
He's also got terrible OCD, too, where he's got to, like, knock on things 3 times, and he's just like, yeah, man, just a little love.
Someone
a little
help him.
Yeah.
Give him a hug. Give Bruno a hug.
Oh, actually, the hearing, it's audio sensitivity. She can hear it. Yeah. Anyway, but that's the reason why she supposedly actually loves the guy is because she knows him, because she's heard him talk and do everything.
Which
I don't know why he...
Creepy.
I don't know why he likes her, but, you know.
Well, probably because she's a good-looking lady that lives in a house that's alive, you know?
It would take less for me.
It would take less. Yeah, dude. You wake up, Brett, like the plates are set. Okay, things are already bustling, popping in here. If you say you broke your leg, you never have to walk up the stairs again. You know what I mean? They just shoot you right up.
I mean, if they're late for an appointment, the tiles are like pushing them out the door.
Accessibility of this fucking, like, you could have any movement problems and this house would help you. Okay, this is the dopest house I've ever seen in my life.
Except, do you not think that they're overtaxing it?
I'm sorry. What do you mean?
Well, okay, we're now on our 3rd generation of magic people who are each getting their own little gift from this eternal flame that is supposed to support their community. And, like, human population starts growing like exponentially at a certain point, right? Like 2 people becomes 4, 16, 32, like, you know, like it doubles like every generation or whatever it is. And I imagine the magic is finite. Oh,
I thought you meant like property tax.
Oh, there's no taxes. No, like Like they're trying to. They're sorry.
No.
You're right. Property tax is a thing. I don't know why.
You're right. Sorry.
But like they're pulling too much out of it, you know?
Mm-hmm.
A new magic room with each kid who gets to be like what, like 8, 10, something like
That's what I'm
that.
saying. Some of these motherfuckers need to move out. Move out. Yeah.
Get that new like we can replace some skills, but also like maybe you needed, maybe to your point, you needed the woman who can heal people when they're sick with food, because you are literally a group of refugees establishing themselves in the jungle somewhere without access to medical things. So the house is like, that's something that you'll need right now.
Yeah.
But once you're 3 generations in and you've grown this community around you, maybe that shouldn't be on the magic house anymore. Maybe you should hire a doctor to come to town.
Yeah.
You know, and you let that skill get reabsorbed. Maybe you needed a cousin that could hear things at super long distances because you're still at war and there's raiders coming and you need the warning. Maybe you need that. But maybe now that you're in peacetime, you kind of let that go into the woods, right? Instead of constantly being like, I'll just take it from the house.
Yeah.
It feels like a reverse mortgage.
Yeah. There's only so many apartments above the garage we can get. You know what I mean? Like, some of y'all need to go.
Yes.
That's what's up.
Strike out on your own, go to college,
Yeah.
do that thing.
But also, like, just to talk about the grandmother a little bit while we're wrapping up here, I gotta say, like, I do completely understand her being, like, on high alert and being like, we need to protect everything. Your husband literally died in front of you.
While you cradled your 3
Like,
newborn
you know
babies.
what? I'm sorry. I support you in everything you do. Okay, like, did it go a little too far? Yes. Okay, but I understand.
Oh, Mirabelle, you don't feel like you can help? I was chased down in the streets and had my husband murdered. You want to help with that?
Yeah.
Because the rest of us are helping with that.
Yeah.
You don't have time for your fucking feelings, Mirabelle.
Yeah. Yep, absolutely. I full support this woman. Full support this woman, okay? And she learns the lesson that she needs to learn at the end of the movie, and I love her for it, and this movie is perfect, and I love it.
Yeah, and I'm sorry we said anything bad about it.
We didn't mean it. Okay.
We're going to put it on our next flight and just cry the whole way.
Oh, what are we doing? Cry on a plane, guys, okay? You paid money to be there. You get to do whatever you want, okay? Cry.
Within reason.
Within reason. Don't derail the flight. But yeah, do you think it's that time?
Yeah, I think it's about time.
It's that time. Okay, I have the family members that some of the other family members don't talk to scale.
Oh, love this.
So from an aunt with a roommate,
Okay.
all the way up to a gun uncle with a stock in large flags for some reason. I'm gonna give it a cousin who lives in a van. Okay. Yeah, sometimes you need to take off, and that's fine. I think that's okay, and I think you can go against the family.
Yeah,
okay?
I like
you
that.
can go against the family. What do you got, Craig?
So I've got the WASP family magic scale.
Nice.
So if they were WASP, white Anglo-Saxon Protestant family instead of Colombian,
Okay.
this is the powers that they would have. So on a scale of treating minor ailments with flat ginger ale. And not effectively.
That's very funny.
They will give you flat ginger ale. To impersonating other families' credit scores. I'm gonna give Abuela a ability to communicate with animals as long as that animal is a purebred Bichon Frise. Because she's not without empathy, but the way you're
good.
going about it, it's giving people anxiety. It's giving that poor little dog anxiety.
So
you know?
funny. I'm so glad you went second. Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
By the way, I
Craig.
did go on a deep rabbit hole. It's like, is it Bichon Frise or is it the French say it
Buddy,
different. Anyway.
however you said it, I would have believed you.
Yeah, very good.
I would have, no fact checker here, I'll tell you
If
that.
you are from France, it is pronounced frise in France, is what I would say.
yeah.
But we say it freeze in North America.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. A little lesson for you.
Yeah.
And you thought you weren't going to learn anything listening to this.
No, come on. You learn something new every day. But guys, before we get to our heroes and villains of the week, we are just going to quickly share a couple ways that you can help the podcast if you're so inclined. This was an audience choice episode.
Hell yeah.
So our patrons on patreon.com/The Villain Was Right, they voted. These were some of their suggestions as well. They got to decide, did you maybe want to see Finding Nemo or Turning Red? Would you have voted differently? Would you have pushed it in a different direction? Well, you too can vote when you become a Two-Face tier supporter of The Villain Was Right at patreon.com. We also have ad-free tiers where you get episodes early. And on our top tier, 2 bonus episodes a month. This month, Rebecca has graced us with the Kevin Sorbo Lightning strikes.
It strikes.
Which
Oh,
is
and boy, howdy, does it strike a lot.
pretty terrible.
Yes, so good.
Can't
It
wait
was
to hear
so
us talk
good.
about that. Head on over to
Fuck
Patreon
yes.
now.
Oh.
And guys, if you want to get in touch, maybe suggest some bad movies for Rebecca.
As always, you can follow us at Villain Was Right on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. And if you would like to send us a suggestion to our email, you can email us at villainwasright@gmail.com. We read all of them. We get back to you in a manner.
We're up to speed.
We're up to holy shit! Holy
Well,
shit!
as of the recording of this,
We're
by the time
caught up, motherfuckers.
by the time this comes out, absolutely not.
wow, what news? What? I'm not on top of anything. Anyway, okay, so here we are, and now it is time for our heroes and villains of the week. What do you got for us, Craig?
Yeah, so I've got a little villain. So as I mentioned,
Nice.
I was in Calgary recently for some shows, and these 2 shows in one night. One was at 5 o'clock, and then the next one wasn't until 9 p.m., which is a huge gap between shows. You don't need that much time to turn over the room, but because the producer also wanted us there super early for some reason, I was basically there from like 4 until like I got there at 4 o'clock, and like 9 o'clock rolls around. The second show still hasn't started yet, so I was there for like 5 straight hours.
Sweet Jesus.
And just hanging out in this hotel with like nothing really else around it. So like I just kind of like wander off, and I'm sitting in the lobby of this hotel, just kind of on my phone, wasting some time. And the quintessential Canadian comedy experience happened to me,
Yes.
which is a junior hockey team comes into the lobby, about, I want to say, 10, 11-year-old boys, you know, all just trying to be the manliest, toughest people. But there's a certain thing that boys that age do where they're all trying to be like impressive and tough towards their friends, but they're all little baby boys who can't like
They're so small.
They're so small,
They're
but they're
just so
trying to be
small.
so big and tough, and you're like, it's so interesting to observe as an adult man. Like they're all trying to be cool for their friends, and then they take out a football
Oh, it's on now.
and they start throwing a football around the lobby of the Doubletree Hilton in Calgary.
Great cookies.
Great cookies. And I'm like sitting there, and they're literally like jumping to catch like passes like right in front of me. And I was just like, wow, I'm just gonna go before this turns into exactly what I know it's gonna be. But you could just see people like at like the little like hotel bar that was off to the side, just like with their little like $16 beers, just staring at these kids, being like, "What the? Why won't somebody tell them to stop?"
Yeah.
Anyway, Canadian comedy thing is a junior hockey team.
I think it's just a
ruining
hotel
it.
thing.
Yeah.
You ever been in a hotel in Canada? Welcome to some teens playing
Yeah.
hockey.
Yeah.
Okay, welcome to it. And most of the time, there's at least 2 groups.
Yeah.
Okay. I think they're keeping the Canadian hotel business.
I think so, too.
I think they're keeping it afloat. I'm going to be honest with you. I think they're the only fucking money that's going into these things.
The
really.
prepubescent toxic masculinity is how I described it.
Buddy.
Anyway, that's That's my villain of the week.
So I have hero villain, and they're mystery people. But I found out recently I live in Fuck Alley. Sorry, I do. I live in Fuck Alley, Craig. So a little while ago, I was taking out my garbage, and I noticed that there was a singular condom wrapper at the bottom of my garbage, and I was like, man, that is a very particular type of person that's gonna fuck in an alley, be safe about it, and then throw out the wrapper. I'm like, that's a very specific type of person. Okay. And then recently there's just been an explosion of condoms. Like, there's just so many fucking condom wrappers in the alley in my bed, like where I exit to go to the side. It's so crazy to me now, because I'm like, is this one person? Are you guys having orgies back here? What is going down in this alley that there are dozens and dozens of condoms back here, that this is just the spot? And I kind of get it, because there's like a little like fire escape, okay, behind my apartment. Like, that's where I leave from most of the time if I'm going out the back. And so there's stairs that you can kind of go under, and like we have a couple of big like garbages that I'm sure it would have at least a bit of coverage. And don't get me wrong, I've seen a bunch of dicks back there. Okay, because like it's also
it's a piss alley.
It's piss alley also. Okay, it's fucking piss alley. Because everybody's whipping their dick out back there. One guy just dead ass stared at me. This old man with his dick. Because normally, some people have the good sense to get up against be between a car and a wall or something. You know what I mean? Trying to have some a little privacy. Okay, like, and I'm not gonna dog somebody for pissing in an alley. You gotta piss. Okay, like.
You know it.
Absolutely. And like, I just think we have a problem with not having like public bathrooms available to people. And like, I don't think that's your fault or your problem. So like, I'm not going to get upset with you pissing in an alley, but at least turn around. You know what I mean? Like, this guy, this old man, like, just dead ass dogged me the whole time with his little dick out. I was like, this is crazy energy. But whatever. I've seen a few dicks in my time. I'm sure you're aware. But yeah, no, people are fucking in my alley. So I think they're kind of heroes, because I'm like, they're being safe.
Yeah.
And I hope you just continue to throw them out in my garbage. I have no problem with that. Okay, if that can be the public condom garbage, that's okay by me. All right, as long as everything's consensual back there, I'm down. Okay, so hero villain, depending on what's going down. Okay, depending on what is happening in that back alley.
Yeah.
Anyway, that does it for us, team. As always, you can follow me at Rebecca Reeds. That's REEDS, and Rebecca the normal way, REBECCA. Get your K's out of here. It's ridiculous. I'm sorry if you spell your name that way, but I need to tell you, you are a horse girl, and I'm sure you know that. Anyway, Rebecca's with K's are
just a dig at.
They're all horse girls. Right they're all horse girls. I'm telling you, every Rebecca with a K I've ever met is a horse girl. Anyway, where can people follow you, Craig?
You can follow me at Craig Fay Comedy on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, CraigFay.com for show dates. And that does it for us this week on the podcast. Tune in next week where we are covering Pee-wee's Big Adventure. We got
is it.
Yeah, very special guest on for that one. You're going to have a good time. And until then, this is The Villain Was Right, reminding you to go ahead, have a cry on a plane. Just let it out.
Hell yeah.
You pay your ticket. You can do whatever you want.
The Villain Was Right was produced by Andrew Ivimey for the From Superheroes Network. For more great podcasts like this, as well as YouTube series, webcomics, and so much more, visit FromSuperheroes.com.